Welcome to Silence By, where your voice matters. So, this evening or today's episode, depending on when you're watching it, is about actually a triple betrayal. One is the sister, one is the boyfriend, and after reading the letter, I think the third one is the person herself who wrote the letter. And even though it felt like a heavy, sad letter, I'm grateful for this opportunity for this platform to be able to share experiences that real people go through and somehow give a little glimmer of hope that this too shall pass. So, without further ado, let's get into the letter and stay tuned for Gabby's response. Dear Gabby, I'm so tired of talking about this. Well, actually, I haven't been talking about it. I've just been listening to everyone in my family tell me what I should do and how I should feel. I honestly feel like my head is going to explode. You see, this letter is about my family, my younger sister to be exact. She's the baby of the family, and everyone protects her like she can do no wrong. And because I'm older, I'm supposed to set a good example, be the leader. Well, right now, I just want to slap her and let out a good cry. The thing is, I haven't allowed myself to feel anything, so it feels like the tears are lost. Here's a little background. Growing up, she was my best friend. We shared clothes, secrets, dreams, everything. When people asked if we were close, I used to say she wasn't just my sister, she was my built in best friend. I took care of her and took her with me wherever I went. That's why what happens feels like such a betrayal. I still can't fully process. About 2 years ago, my sister finished college and came to live with me and my boyfriend. Rent was expensive, so I thought I could help her by letting her stay with us. I introduced them, and at the time, I was excited for them to meet. I wanted the two most important people in my life to get along. And at first, everything seemed normal. But after a while, I noticed something felt off. I would come home from work, and they would be in the house talking and laughing with my two children. I started feeling like I was the outsider coming into their home. My sister would be cooking for them like they were her family. Then I noticed that she was texting him more than she was texting me. She said it was because I was at work and she didn't want to interrupt me, whereas my boyfriend worked from home. When we were all together, they would share little inside jokes I didn't understand. The worst part was I started feeling paranoid that my boyfriend always seemed to need to go to get a glass of water in the middle of the night, where he would have to pass by her sleeping on the living room sofa in revealing pajamas. I told myself my mind was playing tricks on me. Maybe I was jealous, or maybe I was just overthinking it until the night everything came crashing down. My boyfriend said he needed to talk to me. He confessed and asked for my forgiveness. Before I could process his confession, I grabbed his phone and read all the text messages between them. Not friendly messages about who was going to pick up the kids or some random errand. These were intimate ones, the kind of messages that make your stomach drop the moment you read them. When I confronted my sister, she didn't deny it. She said it just happened and that they didn't mean for things to go that far. My boyfriend admitted that They had been seeing each other behind my back for months. Months. Gabby, I lost two people that day, and my children lost a father figure and an aunt. Now it feels like they're also losing the entire family because I can't stand being around my family anymore. My family always says I should forgive her because she's your sister. They say blood is thicker than water and that holding on to anger will only hurt me. Maybe they're right. They've both asked for forgiveness, but I don't even know how to trust them or even trust myself. I was the one that caused this pain for my children because I brought them together. Now they're both out of my home, but the silence is deafening. Should I forgive them and try to work things out? I want to believe my boyfriend. I do love him, and I know my children love and miss him, but how do I let him back in? I would always have to see them together at family events and be reminded of how they played family in my home. Am I supposed to still be the bigger person? Signed, Betrayed by Blood. Alrighty, so that was a lot. Um, Before I unpack this, because I had a lot of little things that I wanted to say, but before I unpack it, let's bring Gabby in.
Dear Betrayed by Blood, you are carrying three different kinds of pain at the same time. The betrayal of a partner, the betrayal of a sister, and the pressure from a family that wants the conflict to disappear. That's a heavy emotional load for anyone. Let's start with something important. What happened here was not your fault. You did not cause this by introducing two adults to each other. Their choices belong to them. You opened your home because you loved your sister. You trusted the man you were building a life with. Those were acts of generosity and trust, not mistakes. The responsibility for what happened belongs to the two people who broke that trust. Here's a nugget for you to hold on to. Trust can be rebuilt, but it must also be earned. First, let's talk about forgiveness. Forgiveness is often misunderstood. People treat it like an obligation, especially inside families. But forgiveness cannot be demanded on a schedule just to make everyone else comfortable. And forgiveness does not automatically mean reconciliation. Even if you someday choose to forgive them for your own peace, that does not mean you must allow them back into your life in the same way. Trust is fragile. When two people you loved cross such a deep boundary inside your own home, it changed the foundation of those relationships. And it's okay to admit that. Your family may want things to go back to normal, but normal no longer exists in the same way it once did. Right now, instead of forcing yourself to make a final decision, give yourself permission to grieve. Grieve the relationship you thought you had with your sister. Grieve the partner you believed your boyfriend was. Grieve the sense of safety that existed in your home before this happened. Those losses are real. As for letting your boyfriend back into your life, that decision deserves time and clarity, not pressure. Ask yourself this. If you allowed him back into your life today, would it be because trust has been rebuilt, or because you are afraid of the silence that followed his absence? There is no shame in missing someone who hurt you, but love alone cannot repair broken trust. Only consistent honesty, accountability, and time can begin to rebuild it. And even then, it is your right to decide whether rebuilding is something you truly want. For now, Give yourself the one thing it sounds like no one around you is offering: patience. As for your children, communicate with them on a level that is age appropriate for them. Remind them that they are loved. And if and when you trust your sister and ex-boyfriend, allow them to remain in their lives with healthy boundaries. You are not weak for struggling with this. You are human. With compassion, Gabby.
Okay, so I have to say that Gabby, of course, always gives great advice. Now, the part of me that is a Christian and still working on getting my way into heaven is really wondering, did you get all of your frustrations out when your boyfriend confessed to you? Because in my mind, not in real life, in my mind, there would have been a lot of screaming, maybe even some hitting. Everybody probably would have gotten kicked out that night, except for the kids. Um, Now, I have to say that would have just been in my head. I'm probably not that, I'm definitely not that person. So the rational part of me says, I don't know which one to start with. I'm going to start with the most important. I'm super glad Gabby addressed the kids because the kids are the innocent ones in this scenario. And even though I want to feel really bad for them, depending on how this is handled, will determine how devastating it is to them, or even if it is devastating. People come in your life, go in and out your life all the time, and children are really resilient. So if the communication is there with the kids, that they understand that whatever the boyfriend's name is, if he's just not so much in the picture for a moment, and it might just be a few days for you to calm down, I think they can manage with that. Now, the fact that boyfriend still wants forgiveness and wants the relationship, it might start with laying the foundation. Was he just interacting with the kids because he was in a relationship with you? Or did he genuinely have a real bond, of, as you said, a father figure bond with them? Now, if that is the case, then I would see what he thinks about keeping conversation or communication or relationship with them. Is he willing to earn their trust back? Even though they may not know what happened, his actions put him in a situation where he could have been separated from the kids. So I would question, is he willing to still just be the father figure, if only through the phone? And will he pick up the phone and call them? Will he come to events that they may have? If he's willing to do that without actually having the benefits of the girlfriend, then that would say a lot for how committed he is to making this family work. Second thing I would say is there's got to be boundaries. There has got to be boundaries. So, what was his intention? What was your intention? Was it just, and I think I'm speaking as my mom at the moment, was it just to play house? Or was there a purpose like, we're going to get married? You're going to make a real commitment to being the father figure. So I would say, as single parents, it's important to set boundaries and select who we allow around our children and what their intention is. So that will be for boyfriend or ex-boyfriend. I'm not sure which one it is. Next, for the sister, the family saying, oh, she's the baby, you've got to forgive. No, she's a big grown woman. She graduated from college. She is a big grown woman. She knew what she was doing. Unlike the boyfriend who actually came and confessed, she didn't. She actually just admitted once she was caught. That's a I think that has to be looked that relationship has to be looked at separately. And again, communication. I think that trust level, I don't know if the sister is going to fight to build that trust because at the end of the day, you're always going to be sisters. And if you guys don't get back to having that super close relationship, sometimes it's okay to love people from a distance. And as Gabby said, you may have to grieve that portion of the relationship and set your boundaries. And you can actually be you can have interaction with people that you don't trust, or relationships with people that you have boundaries with. So that sister may never come to live with you again. She may never be unsupervised around your significant other. So set the boundaries. She's your sister. If she needs a kidney in the future, think about it. Um, but once you make your decisions, then move forward. Move forward. And one thing I would agree when Gabby says that it is not your fault, but I will say set boundaries from the beginning and choose how much freedom you will give people. Now, as for yourself, yeah, take your time and forgive yourself because once you process this, you've got to process it, got to forgive yourself. Once you do that, then you can leave the past behind you. You might never forget, but you can move forward and you can see a future of laughter, happiness, unity, joy, and boundaries. So that would be my advice. That's all I've got because this is a whole topic in conversation. So, again, I do want to say thank you all for listening, for watching. And if you like the episode, please like, subscribe, comment, share, all of that good stuff. And thank you again for watching another episode of Silence By.